I'm David Tanner, and this is my wife Hazel, and we operate Purity Organics outside of Regina. Being organic, we don't use chemicals or fertilizers. We use a buffer strip around our property or around our fields to prevent any contamination.
I'm passionate about organics and farming, particularly organics especially, because I really believe that it's the healthy, sustainable way to continue. For some it's a passion, for some it's a job. And I really believe that for us it's a lifestyle. Dave was the eldest of the four altogether siblings, and his dad was still farming, of course. The others were younger, and when we were married, Dave knew he wanted to farm. That was his heart and his passion, and we weren't sure. We didn't want to live in the city, and we were blessed that there was an older couple living here on this farm who had no family, and they were living in the city in the winter, still lived here in the summer, had kept it up beautifully, and they agreed to sell us the farm, which was, it just was absolutely a miracle. It gave us such a beautiful start, and they didn't have to do that. It was just wonderful. So already part of our support, part of our beginning was just their generosity and their timing. I think perhaps this was part of my concern for several years earlier in the 80s, 90s, the way chemicals were taking over our lives. And I remember thinking we struggled to keep the seed plant going, sometimes almost all night, all day, most of the night. And we were not making enough profit in the seed plant to pay for the chemical and fertilizer. And so it took Dave from 1994 to 98, fall of 98, to decide that we could do that. He could do that. He could handle what people thought about the weeds.
What would our neighbors think, or how would we be ostracized in the community? And we were.
And could we do it well enough to eventually?
But I'm stubborn enough to keep going ahead and.
We realized it was right.
Next couple of years, it was a learning process through that, and knowing this is how God intended us to farm. You know, after coming through the conventional farming, and you have one single desk seller, you sell all your product through an elevator, and now we're having to search out our markets. It's not easy. Everybody is looking for Saskatchewan end use or to buy, whereas the world you have to look at the world instead of just locally, and maybe that's where I am a little weak at.
I think as times change and the industry grows and improves, that it will become easier. I can see that it's much easier than it was for my brother 20 years ago when he began. There was a very limited organic markets. That was a pioneering era. We've been able to learn some things from him as well. From them. I think one of our concerns has been all along that things were posing as organic, products were posing as organic. There was not a clarity between organic and natural. And I think that's part of our job as producers, is to be clear about that in our own minds, know what we produce, be happy, be proud of what we produce, and make that distinction clear to the consumer and the chef that this product is pure. There is no preservative, there is no additive that you don't know about. And I believe that the new regulations as far as labeling and as far as the Canadian standard are going to make a big difference, because I think consumers have been very confused about what really they were getting. And I think because we have that audit trail and that ability to source it, to trace it back, that's a consolation, or that's for the chef to know he can count on that. And we're blessed to have the European certification. I really believe that once the Canadian standard is in place, and that has helped so much, because Canada was almost an embarrassment. It couldn't decide on the new regulations. It went on for a year or two, three, and it made the industry in Canada look very disorganized, very ununified, And the world was beginning to look at that, and Canadian product wasn't accepted like it should have been for the quality it was. What do we see as a vision for the future? What would we do if we could say this is what we'd like on our farm? For me, I would say we would like to establish and create and to continue to make this farm that we've been so blessed to receive into a place that would be a blessing not only to us but to friends and neighbors, our family who comes after us, to leave a legacy of farming that we could really say we had felt we had accomplished what God wanted us to be here for.
Be able to pass, like Hazel said, a legacy off onto our children, that we've kept it up and sustained, or kept the soil in good growing conditions. And
we're passionate about it because we see that that's the only way that we can preserve not only the health of a people, ourselves, our families, and of a nation, but that it's the only way that environmentally this world can continue.
we sell, especially our veggie mix, some spelt product, lentils.
Pure Tea organic products are available at Nature's Best Organic Market on 14th Avenue in Regina, and also at Eat Healthy Foods on 12th Avenue. We're growing and branching out in our products, and we have available to sell now at Nature's Best Organics the 25 kg bags of spelt, and also Dave has developed a veggie mix, or veggie burger mix, and that has been well received at both those organic stores.
In this summer we started at the Regina Farmers Market in front of City Hall Wednesdays and Saturday mornings, and there it continues until first part of October. Then we move indoors to the Cathedral Centre.